Alright. Well, I wanted to know what the fuel situation was with this thing, so yesterday I just let it sit down here and run for about 2 hours. And we're gonna see. I checked the oil level a couple times afterwards, but just this is the first time I've checked it since I know for sure it's all drained down. And it did not come up any, so hopefully that means fuel leak is taken care of. Well, at least the internal one's taken care of. I had a couple other ones pop up. I got those two return lines are weeping a little bit. I think that one's weeping a little bit. I got a couple fittings to tighten or to check to get them to quit leaking, but other than that, I think all the fuel leaks are taken care of, so I'm confident enough to go ahead and change the oil in it. Oh, I think it probably was just because I had it idling for so long, but that wet spot right there on the elbow, she must have been wet stacking a little bit. Okay, you gonna start for me, girl? Generator. I'm gonna pop that part today too and see what the hell's going on in there. See what this oil look. Well, I know what this oil's gonna look like. It's gonna be full of diesel fuel, but guess if you want to look at the positive side, I bet this made the inside of that motor all nice and squeaky clean. Alright, I get some real nasty stuff out of it. Oh, you know, in all reality, other than the fact that it's kind of thin, it doesn't look that bad. It's definitely dirty, but there's no floaties in it, so it's always a good sign. Okay, so ran into a slight problem. This is the stud that came out of that hole, and if you can see, that hole got no threads left in it. So I got to helicoil it. And this is what a helicoil looks like. You drill a hole oversized, oops, and then you use a special tap, and then you run this insert down in there, and then that takes your thread back down to size, and it'd actually be a steel insert in an aluminum housing, so those threads would probably be stronger than the ones that were ever in it. And ironically, well, not ironically, but oddly, these things are made in Australia. Normally we never see hardly anything around here made in Australia, so that's kind of neat. So, but right now, Dad's looking for a tap because the one that was in here was kind of junk. So, we shall return in a second. Okay, while we're waiting, remember on my 66, I talked about how when they went to the Super Series, they shortened up the oil tube on the filter housing, and this is the example of that. They shortened it up quite a bit, but all they needed to do was get enough on there to get poked up through the bottom of the filter, which, if I didn't show you, looks like that. And okay, I say there better be a gasket in that box, and basically there's enough pressure to be able to push the oil through the bottom of the filter that it will fill the canister up before it starts pushing oil out of the filter. So that's really all they needed. But the Fleet line, they also changed the filter style. The Fleet lines use a slightly different filter, which is why they need the taller tube on the the filter housing. So yeah, that's an example of what that's supposed to look like if the short versus tall oil tube. How do I look this way?
Pretty close. It's probably going to try to corkscrew. Looks like you're quite to the bottom yet. You hitting the bottom?
Yeah.
Point.
If it'll go in there. Come on, bite. That's crooked as fuck. Yeah, I'm gonna have to run that with a tap socket. I made sure. As long as it doesn't pull out again, because this is the last shot. Come on, just click. Just click. Come on. It's getting tighter. It's tight. I'm stopping there. Well, pulled it back apart again. And this time, put that stud in with some blue Loctite. And I'm going to let that set up. Because it just, at this point, so damn scared of it. Because you strip the threads out of it twice. So, yeah. Definitely knocks a lot less with real oil in it. Well, that makes me feel a whole lot better. I'm sorry the video was a little chopped up, but between Dad working in the shop with me and being stressed the fuck out over that pump, or over the stud on that pump, I was wigging out. This was a stressful day for me. Never actually did get it to click with a torque wrench, but we used just a regular 1/2-inch wrench, and feeling this one and feeling that one, they gotta be really damn close. We just didn't want to push our luck any further than we had to, and it's not leaking, and the pump acts 10 times better. Apparently, well, I don't know what exactly was causing the problem, because this fitting was leaking because it was messed up, so I replaced that fitting and took care of that leak. And then a couple of the return lines were leaking, which would affect the pop-off pressure on them a little bit. But I don't know, so I don't know if it was the pump sucking a little air because this corner wasn't pulled down, or because there was a fuel leak here, or because the return lines were leaking. But either way, the pump acts 10 times better now. And Yeah, my damn oil filter still got a little bit of a leak. Son of a bitch. I'm gonna have to address that. And I was gonna tear into that generator today, but that pump turned into a fiasco, and I need to really go home and get a nap in before I go to work, because I didn't sleep for shit last night anyway. But yeah, probably gonna work on that generator a little, or at least tear it apart this week and see what the hell's going on in there. So that might be a video on its own. But anyway, the fuel system should be all sorted out, and I think some of these return lines might still weep a little bit, but without actually making new lines, I don't think you're ever going to get them 100% right, because they've had a pretty rough life. Some of them are kind of beat up, so they'll probably always leak a little bit. But anyway, that's all serviced out and ready to go, as long as there's no more fuel leaking in the oil pan, which only time will tell on that. So anyway, I guess that does it for this one. We'll catch y'all on